What's up guys, Bob Buskirk here at ThinkComputers, and today we're taking a look at this motherboard right here, which is the Aorus Z270X-Gaming 9. So let's go ahead and take a look. Before we get a look at the motherboard, let's take a look at the accessories. You get quite a lot with this motherboard. So starting off, you have an Aorus door hanger, I/O shield, Wi-Fi antenna, crossfire connector, a 3-way SLI bridge, 4-way SLI bridge, high bandwidth bridge, Aorus case badge, RGB header extension cable, 2 thermal probes, your G connector, 2 Velcro cable ties, cable labels, 6 SATA cables, your driver and utility CD, and your user's manual. The first thing you'll notice about this motherboard is that it's slightly larger than other motherboards out there. It actually is an eATX motherboard, so that's something you're going to want to keep in mind. Since this is a high-end Aorus board, it has that white and black color theme with the all-black PCB and then your white accents throughout. Starting at the CPU socket, we of course have the LGA 1151 socket, which supports both 6th generation and 7th generation Intel processors. The CPU is conditioned by a 22-phase power delivery system, which is equipped with 4th generation IR digital power controllers and 3rd generation power IR stage ICs, which feature iSense technology. All of this together prevents overheating of each individual power stage, resulting in longer lifespan and better reliability. These power delivery components are actually covered by an EK designed G-Frost hybrid water block. Aorus has worked with EK water blocks to create this extreme hybrid water block with G1/4 threaded fittings. Moving down to the edge of the board, we have our 4 DDR4 DIMM slots, and those actually have metal shielding on them, as well as RGB LED strips that run all the way through. There are dual diagnostic LED displays, as well as 5 different buttons here. You'll find a power button, eco button, OC button, reset button, and a clear CMOS button. As we move down the board, you'll find 2 4-pin fan headers, your 24-pin ATX power connection, and 2 USB 3.0 headers. As we move to our storage connections, we have 3 SATA Express ports, 2 SATA 6GB ports, as well as 2 U.2 ports. As far as expansion slots go, we have 4 PCI Express 3.0 X16 slots and 2 PCI Express X1 slots. All of the X16 slots have the Aorus PCI Express armor, which uses a one-piece stainless steel design. Since this motherboard has a PLX chip, if you have 2 graphics cards installed, they'll run at full X16 speed, and if you have all 4 slots populated, your cards will run at X4 speeds. In between the PCI Express slots, you'll find 2 M.2 SSD slots. These are PCI Express 3.0 X4 slots. The top slot supports M.2 SSDs up to 110mm, while the bottom one supports SSDs up to 80mm. At the far end of the motherboard is where you're going to find your audio components. The audio solution is the Creative Sound Blaster ZXRI, which makes use of the Creative Sound Core 3D quad-core audio processor with a Burr Brown high-end 127 dB DAC. There are also 3 upgradable op amps. You've 1 op amp for both left and right channels on the rear I/O, as well as a dedicated op amp for the front audio jack. Finally, we're at the rear I/O, so from left to right, you have a combination PS2 port, 2 USB 2.0 ports, antenna connections for the Wi-Fi, gold-plated DisplayPort and HDMI connections, 2 USB 3.0 ports, dual killer Ethernet ports, 2 USB 3.1 ports, so you have a Type A and Type C, your G-Flash plus USB ports, and gold-plated audio connections. This motherboard is loaded with RGB LEDs. We've actually done a full video going over all of the RGB features in this motherboard, so I'll have that link below. But this is one of the most RGB featured packed motherboards that you can get for the Z270 platform. This motherboard has to be one of my favorite Z270 motherboards that is currently available. It has everything that you're gonna want, whether you're a gamer or an enthusiast. You have support for 4-way SLI. You have a great sound solution inside of there. You have the multiple U.2 and M.2 slots. You have built-in water cooling if you want it. It just has everything, all of those RGBs. I can't speak enough about all the features that are in this motherboard. We go over all of those features in our full review, which I'll have linked below. I also have linked below our RGB video that goes over all the different RGB LEDs on this motherboard. So go ahead and check all of that out. If you have any questions about this board, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Until next time, catch you guys later.